You always talk about diversity of the NFL. You're a champion for that. We have Brian Flores, we have Chris Greer in our front office. How can we get more of this around the NFL?
Well, you got to have executives, owners that are socially conscious. We just saw a brother that was with the Philadelphia Eagles last year get hired as the general manager for the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. That is a plus.
That's big.
You still got Chris Greer in Miami, who's hiring brothers left and right. He's not being given enough credit for the brothers that he's employing. That's a plus. And listen, black folks make up about 13 to 14% of the population.
Right.
It's not like there's 32 teams, so, oh my God, we should have 10 jobs or we should have 15 jobs. It's not about the number. It's about making sure that the process is fair. If there were 4 or 5 African Americans that were executives in the National Football League, I would be very, very proud of that.
Yes.
My issue is not necessarily with the numbers, although it needs to increase. My interest is in a process that's not being followed. We have a Rooney Rule in place that encourages you to interview African American candidates for head coaching and GM positions, although it should be for coordinating positions as well. We get that.
Yeah.
The other side to it, however, is that you got a guy like this Coach Judge from New England. You weren't even a coordinator, and you got the head coaching job, and they're surrounding you with head coaches, and Jason Garrett, Kitchens, and others that had head coaching experience, clearly indicating they don't believe you are prepared.
Right.
But they love the promise that you show. Mm-hmm. Well, how come you never love the promise that African Americans show? Unless we have to go through the proper channels and the proper layers before we get those jobs. Why is it that the same isn't applicable to the white counterparts that are getting these jobs? These are the kind of things that I'm concerned about. Freddie Kitchens, I have nothing against this man, and he didn't do a great job in Cleveland this year, and he deserved to be fired, but I hope he gets another head coaching job down the line, because I don't think it was incompetence. I think that too much was given too soon. This guy went from a positional coach to a coordinator to the head coach of the Cleveland Browns in 8 months. Who does that?
That's absurd.
And so those, and I'm saying that would never, ever, ever happen for black people. And so when we recognize that, let's understand that if we really, really want to hold them accountable, make sure we do so by highlighting to white America and those white folks in position of power, if you're going to ignore, ostracize, or marginalize African Americans, at least have the decency to do it for white folks who went through the proper levels and layers and channels before they got these jobs.
Exactly.
Right? Because then now we're talking about blacks becoming coordinators and things of that nature. So you can knock those barriers down. But when you just sit up there and throw barriers aside, and you're just promoting people willy-nilly out of nowhere, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason or any kind of process or criteria that folks have to live up to, black folks don't stand a chance. And I think that it's time that we stand up and we start really, really hollering about that reality. It's not about whether or not we get the jobs or not. It's about the seeming absence of a criteria for the people you want to give the jobs to get the jobs. There is no criteria.
Right.
And that's what, to me, needs to be addressed.
And here we are on the doorstep of the Super Bowl, and Eric Bieniemy, what do you tell a guy like him?
Nothing. He can't do anymore. He can't do it. He's calling plays for the most prolific offense in football and can't get a head coaching job. But Kevin Stefanski, whose offense was incredibly predictable in the postseason against Minnesota, had a job waiting for him in Cleveland. Jason Garrett gets fired after 10.5 inept years with the Dallas Cowboys, or 9.5 inept years with the Dallas Cowboys, in terms of underachieving, because he did have a winning record.
Right.
But he's immediately the offensive coordinator. You got this kid Judge from New England, wasn't even a coordinator. He gets a job. You got this coach out of Baylor, Rule, who did a damn good job in college at Baylor. But did he do such a good job at Baylor
that
he gets a $60 million contract, plus the Carolina Panthers paying Baylor $6 million to buy him out? These are the kind of things that should be alarming to all of us, and I don't think it is.
Stephen A. Smith, ESPN First Take.